Hello everyone, this is the Transit Diaries back here with another video, and today I am testing out this new game called Subway Builder. But there are many twists that I think you might like that separate it from other subway building games, so let's get started. Now, a lot of people will probably like to pick New York or Chicago, these big cities. I'm going to pick a city I'm less familiar with, like Philadelphia, but you can peep the numbers of population, and that will be an important stat for later. Now, there are two modes here, the normal mode and the sandbox mode. So what we will do is start a campaign with $3 billion. All right, so here we are in Philadelphia. Now you can see the map is pretty basic street map with also 3D grids, so you can kind of gauge the density and how major the areas are around you. In addition, you might wonder how all this works. I'll take you through that, but we can even see how you are supposed to set up your subway lines. Down here, we have demand stats. So here we are at the demand tab, and we can see residents and workers. And this shows where everyone lives and where everyone works. Okay, I guess we should get started now. So let's take a look at the demand. And now everyone works here in the center. So we'll want to get a pretty balanced approach. We should probably start from the south side. So what we have is the build tab and the cost tab. So we can build stations and draw blueprints accordingly. We can even pick express services with quad tracks, and then we can have parallel and single tracks. I'm going to go for the parallel track because I think that will facilitate the best result, as quad tracks might be a bit expensive, and we want to build on the cheap as well. You also have different elevation heights, so when your track isn't high or deep enough, you have to buy the buildings around you. So this adds a nice realistic element to it. So let's start with building one station here. Oh, and how are we going to negotiate this? I'm not going to buy this building. And so let's build another station down over here where there's still a decent amount of density. And let's just continue by going down the street and supplementing all the residents who live down here. And as you can see, we have 3 stations named Broad Street. We'll fix that later. I really wish that this had street names you could turn on so you could name the stations appropriately, but whatever. That'll probably be in the future. Let's add one more down here. Now if we take a look at the demand stats, you can see that this matches the work residence demand quite decently. What else you can see is that you have alignments and elevations, which regulates the speed, of course. You also have alignments that are too sharp, and this has to do with your line speed. And if the train takes, a long time with these sharp turns, people are probably less likely to take your network. We'll have to negotiate this building. I'm going to make it hug the inside right here. Youch. This is proving to be harder than usual, but this is part of the game. It's overcoming these obstacles to optimize your price and your service. If we do this and we get a nice... Okay, now this is a really odd alignment, but I think I can make this work. So how much will this cost? $500 million. I think we can expand this north a bit. Okay, so I've expanded the line 4 stations north. Now let's build the tracks and see if we can get a consistent speed. I assume that this will be a pretty fast line since it is straight, and look at that, we're getting 89 kilometers per hour, which is really great. And now the last part we have to do is add crossovers at the end, of course, so that our trains can turn around. $974 million for all of these. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 11 stations so far for $900 million. This is a large investment. Let's build the blueprints. And now we can see the route making process. So the first line, let's call it the Broad Street line. Also, we'll have to change the name of all these Broad Street stations, so let me work on that. So I'm done renaming all the stations, and I looked at Google Maps to help me a little bit, and I realized that I inadvertently basically recreated one of the lines in Philadelphia one-to-one without recognizing it. I guess, transit enthusiast knows transit planning game. Anyways, let us plan the route and buy the trains. Our line is completed and it spans most of the city, and it takes only 16 minutes thanks to the high speeds, except for this one area, but that shouldn't be too big of an issue. So now what we have to do is confirm the changes, look at the trains, and this is where a new aspect comes in. With the way people live and how they go to and from work, there's also a difference in demand, and they are active between different hours. As you can see here, 4 to 6 a.m. for medium demand, 10 to 15, and then 20 to 22. All the demands have their corresponding hours. We also have cars per train. For now, we'll go with 5-car trains. So due to the length of the line, 5 trains will not be enough. It will have 7-minute frequencies. So how about we buy a few more? So I put 10 trains on high demand for a 3-minute frequency. Let's try to aim for 5-minute frequencies on medium demand, and then maybe 7-minute frequencies on low demand. And that should probably make things work. And remember, we have an operational cost per train with a set capacity. 10-car trains are a better deal overall, but for now, we should probably just keep it at 5-car trains. Now, without further ado, let's see how we make profit and get the simulation running. And you can even see the individual schedules and speed, acceleration. You have full-on transit tracking of every individual vehicle, which is a very cool feature. And now if we look at the route ridership, you can see it's 1,900 total right now. We can look at the station ridership to see where most people are getting on and off. What we want ideally is empty stations at the ends. If you have very full stations near the ends, it means that people are commuting inward to get here. We can see that this station has quite a lot of people, and so that means that people are probably coming from other areas. If we look at the demand stats, you can see that there are many residents here. So people are coming inwards to this line. What does that indicate? That indicates that we need to build more parallel lines to get people here to the middle, and maybe some connectors for later. Now you can see we are still running at a loss, which is not good at all. If we up the fare price, it's $3 already, which is very, very high. So rush hour just ended. Let's take a look at the ridership. It's at 10,000 now. If we look at station ridership, you can see everyone is getting off at the work centers, which is good to see. But we are once again losing money, which is not good. And if you look, we don't actually have that much crowding. So I think we can take some trains off the line. 5-minute frequency, 7-minute frequency, 11-minute frequency. I'm sorry, but that's just what we have to do to keep the profits running. And geez, we are still losing cash. It's bleeding out of our system. But look at that. Now we're turning a slight profit, but not nearly enough. So let's build new lines where there are other people and see if we can get more riders funneled into the system and transferring, which thus means more revenue overall. Right, because right now we're only getting revenue from people around this area. We don't get people from here coming here to go downtown. So let's maybe build a line going across. First, let's take a look at our demand stats. We can even look at just exclusively transit mode. Who takes transit? 0 to 100%. Not many people take transit, and that's totally understandable with the case we have right now. No matter how you build it, we're going to have to build deep to bypass the convention center here, and we cannot afford $1 billion to destroy it. So we will have to be creative here. So at 11 meters. Whew, okay, this is going to be a steep cost, but I think it'll be worth it. So I'll build a station right here. We're going to have the convention center station, the South Downtown station, and now a station directly in the heart of downtown, which will greatly help. Now we're going to build a station. We're already at a soaring $500 million. Let's keep it under $1 billion. So let's build more stations. Are you kidding me? Are you... Oh, whatever. We're biting the bullet. This is beyond frustrating. It's a bit over 1 billion, but we're gonna build the blueprint. Whatever, we're at 804 million. This is not good. It looks like I have inadvertently copied another Philly line, and I made it elevated. I hope this means that I know game as a transit enthusiast and not that I'm bad. Let's just put it that way. We're gonna name this the Market Street line. Let's make this one blue. So this is gonna take 12 minutes end to end, which is not bad. Oh, okay, we're really low on money now. This is, let's see, so hourly, you can see at 6 a.m. we spend a lot and we don't make anything, and then we barely make money at 18 o'clock. Now let's see if we can funnel more people into our system with this line. And we're losing money severely. Great. Okay, especially at nighttime we're losing money. It's really hard to be profitable as a public transit system. I guess that's why you need public funds to subsidize it. Route ridership. Broad Street is heavily outweighing this Market Street line, which is getting almost no one. A lot of people riding this station, so we could expand elsewhere. We could make a line that goes maybe up down here. Well guys, this was a pretty cool playthrough and an awesome new test of a game. So if you want me to continue this and try to turn a profit and make a decent system, let me know in the comments below. But anyways, I'm the Transit Diaries, and as always, stay tuned for more.